Well, as we continue here on AOA, Agriculture of America, brought to you by Cenex. Choose the perfect grease for your equipment. It is critical for your operation. Visit your nearest store or go to Cenex.com for more information. We want to put some focus onto the U.S. hardwood industry and hear about some of the impacts that tariffs are having on hardwood mills, et cetera, et cetera. Joining us now, he is with the Kendrick Forest Products in Edgewood, Iowa. Kirby Kendrick is with us here today on the show. Kirby, great to talk with you. Thanks so much for joining us on the program.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. It's great to be on here and have the opportunity to tell our side of the story.
Well, let's just start and tell us a little bit about how the U.S. hardwood industry and companies such as yours are being directly affected by tariffs right now, Kirby.
Yeah, most certainly. A lot of people that don't work in our industry so much, they probably don't realize that American hardwoods has a large demand throughout the world, especially in China. China is a large consumer of American hardwoods right now and has been for the last 20, 30 years. The trade war between the United States and China has been negatively impacting our business as a company and an industry as a whole. So whether you export your material or don't, when there's a trade war fight going on with China in particular, the largest consumer of American hardwoods, you're going to feel the impact whether you sell to China or not. It's no different than China buying soybeans. When they're buying soybeans, farmers they're seeing the positive impact of it. When China's not buying soybeans, they're seeing the negative impact of it. And it's the same thing for American hardwoods.
Well, and I know you recently had an op-ed in AgriPulse talking about some of these issues as well. And thinking about this, I'm curious your thoughts on why the hardwood industry maybe gets overlooked amid some of these trade discussions and trade policy. And you mentioned soybeans, of course, all over the news, rare earth minerals, things like that. But you don't hear a whole lot of talk about, the hardwood industry. So, I mean, do you feel like your industry gets a little overlooked in these discussions?
Yeah, there's definitely some truth to that. The hardwood industry is significantly smaller than the soybeans alone or the corn. So there's just less of us in the country, but so I think that definitely has a play in the matter. Legislators, you look at a lot of legislators, they have some farming background. There's only maybe a handful of them that have some forest products knowledge and background, so to speak. So we're just a lot smaller industry than some of our other friends in the egg sector. One thing I like to point out too is prior to the Trump administration, cutting trees was known as you don't cut trees, that's a bad thing. And now there's a turning of that. People are realizing that cutting trees is good. You need to do that. It's good for the environment. It's sustainable. We have a great story to tell, and we have to get that messaging out there. So I think if we can get that messaging out there, let people know what our story is, educate, do a lot more education. I think a lot of people will come around to understanding the hardwood industry in particular, and knowing that it has a lot of positiveness for the environment.
In your view, what is the path forward to maintain and grow the U.S. hardwood industry? You mentioned how we're getting some of that positive momentum change here, and cutting trees is a good thing. So what's the path forward here? What do you think?
Yeah, so there's several things, I guess, in my opinion. We have to be able to navigate through this trade war. Just like the soybean and the corn folks and the egg, We have to get through this. We have to put it behind us. If we can't get something resolved here soon, we're going to keep seeing family-owned businesses, in particular in rural America, going by the wayside, which is not good, as those family-owned businesses sometimes, they're what keeping small towns alive. So a path forward, I guess, we have heard some good news the last 12, 24 hours between China and the United States, that they're going to come back to the table and they're going to buy some goods in the egg sector. So hopefully things can keep continuing in the right direction. That'll just give everyone a sense of calm here stateside, and I think business folks overseas. But here domestically, I think the path forward, we have to send a message letting people know how good our product really is. We're in a unique time right now where you see a lot of people are becoming more aware of what they're putting into their bodies, on their food. So there's that culture change I feel that's coming, and we need to be making sure we're riding right along with that and beating to that drum, because I look at hardwood flooring versus some of our opponents. Hardwood flooring is a beautiful thing, but also, as someone who has a newborn crawling around on a hardwood floor versus some of our competitors that have some of those toxins that go into their products, that's scary, having your kid roll around on the floor. So I think that is one path forward. We have to get that message out there. I think another thing is, when our government is doing projects, whether it's here in the United States or building embassies, whatever, we need to make sure that American-made products are going into these jobs, government jobs, taxpayer money. Obviously we have a lot of competition in the States, but, to me, I don't think our government does a good enough job at making sure we are using American-made products in our government buildings. So, I think that alone would just be a good tip of the cap. And then another big thing to me is, I think if you're buying a hardwood table, if you're buying hardwood flooring, cabinetry, I think that consumer should get a tax incentive for buying something that's environmentally safe and also made in America. So I think you put those items together. I think there's a good path forward, but it's big steps, but I think we can definitely do it.
Great thoughts. And I'll throw this to you as well. What happens if the industry stays on its current path? I mean, I have to think that could be some detrimental impacts if we stay where we're at currently amid the trade war and more right now, Kirby.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, if we stay on this trajectory, for next several months, and we can't get things turned around, we're going to see more of those family-owned businesses leave. That's going to hurt rural America, like I said before. There's so many things that even wood is going into. You look at truck bed flooring. You look at a semi-trailer that's going down the highway hauling goods. There's hardwood flooring in that, and that's probably likely sitting on a pallet made out of wood. So we help move cargo across the country by being able to take logs and turn them into lumber. So if we keep losing more and more mills that manufacture those goods, we're going to have a severe problem on our hands. It's very concerning if we can't get this turned around in the near future. For my generation and the next, I don't know what the next generation will have. As for a country, what will happen is we are allowing the opportunity of these foreign countries then to sell their products wood from their countries into our country. Might sound far-fetched, but whether it's European oak going into truck bed flooring in the United States, that sounds pretty silly to me, but if we don't have manufacturers, sawmills, and secondary manufacturers able to do that anymore, it's going to come from a different country. So it's a very important thing right now.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to share your thoughts and tell the story a little bit here and share your views on where things all stand. Anything final that you would mention, reiterate to folks here on the show today, Kirby?
Yeah, I just want to say we're in the egg sector. We're farmers too. Our farming just looks a little different. It might take a generation for that tree to become something in your house. Farmers that you're typically talking to, they're growing soybeans and corn that take 120 days, so to speak. We're talking 75, 100 years before that tree hits its life expectancy typically. So we're a little unique in our own way, but we're farmers too, and we help keep America moving just as much as the next in this egg industry. So I really hope that things can turn around for all of us in the egg sector, because it needs to. America needs the agriculture in the United States.
Could not agree more. KFPiowa.com is where folks can go online, learn more about Kendrick Forest products. With that, Kirby Kendrick, appreciate you joining us here on the show today and telling us more, and we'll wish you a great rest of your day. We'll look forward to talking again real soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I really appreciate your time.